everybody. Today we're going to go back to writing, and in this case we're going to write out all of the inversions of the dominant 7th chords in most of the keys. I'm going to do G 7th, A flat 7th. I'm going to leave out G sharp 7th, and you'll see. In any event, it'll get you writing again, and the more you write, the easier it is to recognize these structures. Because there's so much information to be presented in this lesson, I've decided to break it up into 3 parts. So here's part 1 coming up, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's begin by writing our G clef. And the chord that we're going to write out is G 7th. And we'll begin way down here, 2 ledger lines below the staff on this G below middle C. So this is our root position G, B, D, F. Okay? And then the first inversion is going to have the B on the bottom. So we're going to have B, D, F, and this bottom G here is going to swing up and become the new top note. So that's what G 7th in first inversion looks like. And next is second inversion. Put a little second there. And we're going to begin now with the D on the bottom. So look at this now. We have the D, the F. So that's the 5th now, the 7th, the root, and the 3rd. And I guess we should make them into half notes. So, way to write this kind of thing is like this. Okay. And then stem for these 2 and a stem for these 2. So this is G 7th now in second inversion. 5th's on the bottom. Now, since this is a 4-note chord, we're going to have a 3rd inversion. So we have a total of 4 inversions, root, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Now the 7th is on the bottom, the F. And then the G triad just piles on top of that, G, B, and D. All right, and over here going from 1st to 2nd, the B here came up to the B there, and now this D is coming up to an octave to this D. And now we have the 7th on the bottom, the F. Okay. And let's just see how these sound. So your root position, you got your root on the bottom. It's, in a sense, it's more stable than the other ones. But now when we move to the first inversion, so if I put a B in the bass, for instance, as opposed to, say, this thing wants to move somewhere else even more so than the root position. All right, second inversion sounds like this. D is on the bottom, the 5th. So, and I'll augment that by playing the D down in the bass. See? So here's a root. And then the 3rd inversion. So each one has a completely different psychological effect on the listener. So the first one might resolve this way. And then the second one, see, second inversion, D on the bottom, might either go up or go down. And then with the F on the bottom, that has to go down. So we've just seen that having the second inversion, it's more of a, if the D is in the bass, the fifth, it's more neutral, or there's more options as to where this can go. This can go either up or down. Whereas if you have the root in the bass, these bass notes, they want to go down, these roots want to go down 5 and resolve. And similarly, you have the third here in the bass, that can only go one way up, okay? And then the seventh in the bass, that can only go one way. And I'm not trying to establish a rule here. Someone else, some composer, some rock musician could come up and play these in a certain way where they don't follow that particular rule, and it'll be a whole new novel thing that no one ever heard before. But, you know, traditionally, that's how these chords move in their different inversions. Okay, now we're going to write same thing out in bass clef. So let's draw in our F clef. And we'll start with the G down on the bottom of the staff. G, B, D, and F, all lines, right? Root, third, fifth, seventh. Let's turn it into a half note. And you know what? We could also do this. Yeah. And over here too. Okay. Now we're going to have the B on the bottom. So we have B, D, F, and the G comes up. And there it is right next to the F. And that's your first inversion G 7th chord in bass clef. Okay, onward to second inversion. So we have the G on the bottom, the third on the bottom. Now we put the fifth on the bottom, the D. Then the seventh is F. Root is G. And the B swings up an octave now to the top space. And that's what second inversion G7 looks like. Okay, and third inversion has the F on the bottom, the seventh, and then the whole triad, G, B, D. G, B, ledger line, and a D. And we'll put in our stems. One other thing that's very interesting that can immediately alert you to the fact that you're looking at a 7th chord in an inversion is when you have, I like to call notes these two. Here are the hamburgers stacked, and there are the hamburgers right up against one another. So when you see that, when you see this a chord, and you see an interval of a second there, here, see right here too, F to G, and then F to G, you know that it's an inversion of a 7th chord. Say over here, F to G in here, say, and F to G on the bottom, okay? All right, let's try A flat 7th. So let's do our G clef again. And we're gonna start 2 ledger lines below the staff, A, C, E, G, but it's really an A flat, A flat, C, E flat, and G flat. I'll put that over there. Okay. And first inversion, we're going to have C on the bottom, the third, the E flat, the G flat, which is the 7th,
and then the A flat crunched against the G flat on the page. And that's our A flat 7th in first inversion. Okay, this is A flat 7th. All right, A flat 7th in second inversion. Well, E flat is the 5th, G flat's the 7th, A flat is the root, and C is the 3rd. All right, so here the A flat swung up to that A flat. This C now swings up an octave to that C, yeah? All right, let's go on to the last inversion. Third inversion has the G flat, the 7th on the bottom, G flat, and then A flat is crunched right next to the G flat, and then we have the C and the E flat. Okay, that's A flat 7th in third inversion.
Okay, listen, here's the root. A flat on the bottom, first inversion. It's more unstable. I mean, it's a very unstable chord to begin with, but this makes it even more unstable as we go into different inversions. And now, second inversion, E flat on the bottom, and then third inversion, that's really unstable. Maybe do something, see how that would resolve. The G flat would come down to an F.
Okay, let's see what this would look like now in bass clef. So put in our F clef, and we have way down, yeah, A flat here, C, E, G. All right, that's a 7th chord. And now we add the flats, A flat, E flat, and G flat, A flat 7th. Okay, first inversion, we're going to have the C, the E, the G, and the A crunched next to the G. But we have an C natural, we have an E flat, we have a G flat, let's put that over here, and we have an A flat. There we go. And that's what A flat 7th in first inversion looks like. Okay, we're going on to the second inversion. So we have the E flat. That's the 5th. The G flat's the 7th. Let me put that over here. The A flat's crunched to the G flat. And then we have a ledger line C, middle C. Okay, and that's what a second inversion A flat 7th looks like. All right, third inversion has the G flat on the bottom. G flat, I'll put in the flats after. Then the A, the C, it's the A flat actually, and then the E flat on a second ledger line above the staff. So the 7th was G flat. The root is A flat. The 3rd is C. The 5th is E flat floating up here. And that's your third inversion A flat 7th chord. Bass clef. All right, now we're going to look at a plain old A 7th chord. A 7th. And we'll start 2 ledger lines below the staff. That's a C. This is an A. Let's put in the notes without sharps or anything. A, C, E, G, and A7th has a C sharp. That's our root position, A7th chord. First inversion, C sharp, E, G, and the A is smashed next to the G, and we have the C sharp being the bottom note, the third of the chord. And that's A7th first inversion. All right, and just check out here how the A, the bottom A, comes up an octave and moves to this A, just as the C sharp is going to move up now, and the E is going to be on the bottom, the fifth of the chord. E, G, here's A, the root, and then C sharp on top. And the C sharp has moved up an octave. Okay, and then third inversion, we have the G, 7th, the root smashed against the 7th. Then we have the third, which is a C sharp, and the E, and that's our A7th chord in third inversion. Okay, bass clef, put in your F clef. And just start with A, C, E, G, and we know it's a C sharp, because remember, these are all 5 chords. A7th is the 5 chord in D major, and D major has an F sharp and a C sharp in it, right, in the scale. All right, so that's your root position. And now the third's on the bottom, the C sharp, the fifth is the E, the 7th is the G, and the A squeezes against the 7th, the root squeezes against the 7th. And there's your first inversion, A7th chord. And the A on the bottom comes up an octave. Okay, next is second inversion, A7th, so the E's on the bottom, E, and the G is the 7th, A is the root, and the C sharp is on a ledger line above everything, above the staff. So there you go, second inversion. The C sharp comes up an octave. Third inversion is 7th on the bottom, root, A, C sharp on a ledger line, and E on the second ledger line. And this is the E above middle C. All right, oops. And there's your second inversion, A7th chord.
Now let's listen to A7th. Here's root position, A in the bass. It might resolve this way, down to a D, right? Well, they all resolve to D. That's what we're doing here. These are functioning as 5 chords. All right, C sharp on the bass now. So you can hear it there. And that would resolve up, right? And then you have your second inversion, and that could go either way. The E could resolve up to an F sharp of the D chord, of the 1 chord, or it could resolve down. All right, and then your third inversion, and again, generally this can only go one way. I mean, functionally, you know, that's the way it would work. Okay.
Now let's look at B flat 7th, treble clef. And we're going to start below middle C. So here's B flat. So let's just write in those. B flat, D, F, A flat. All right, and B flat 7th is the 5 chord of E flat major. Key signature of E flat major is B flat, E flat, A flat. So we have a B flat and we have an A flat, okay, in the chord. And first inversion has the D on the bottom. 5th is F. The A flat is the 7th. Let's put the flat over here. And then this B flat swings up to be side by side with the A flat. And that's what B flat 7th looks like in first inversion. All right, let's go on to second inversion. We have the 5th on the bottom, F, and the 7th, A flat. I'm going to put the A flat out here. The flat, I mean. And then the B flat is the root. And then the D is the 3rd. There you have it. Okay, third inversion has the A flat on the bottom. Then the triad, B flat, D, and F. Okay, it's A flat 7th, I'm sorry, B flat 7th, third inversion. All right, bass clef, draw your F clef in. And we'll start here on the second line, B flat, D, F, A flat. First inversion, the D, the 3rd, is on the bottom. Any first inversion chord or triad, you have the 3rd on the bottom, then the 5th, and then the 7th, the A flat, and then the B is right there on top of the staff as a flat. That's first inversion, B flat 7th. And you see the B flat here on the bottom coming up an octave up to that B flat. Okay, second inversion, this D here on the bottom is going to go up an octave and it's going to end up above the B flat, you'll see. So we start with the F because it's second inversion, always has the 5th on the bottom. So you have F, A flat is the 7th. You have, well, let me just put that on the line there. You have the B flat is the root and the 3rd is D. There's B flat 7th, second inversion. And third inversion, you have the A flat is the 7th on the bottom. B flat, right next to it. Ledger line, so we can put a D there. Another ledger line, so we can put an F there. There's your third inversion in bass clef of a B flat 7th chord. Here I can draw a nice neat line actually with both of these. So D, see, comes up to there, and then this F comes up and ends up on top.
Well, that's it for today. We'll be resuming in part 2 with the inversions of B 7th. Hope to see you soon. Have a great day.